Chapter 319, Food God and Nine-Color Goddess, CL by Bagelson. Inwardly praising him, Tang San slowly raised his right hand, forefinger pointing at Oscar's forehead. A drop of golden blue blood slowly seeped from his fingertip, and the sea god trident brand on his forehead flashed. A golden blue light enveloping Oscar, soaking through his skin. It temporarily protected him from exploding, but absorbing spirit rings necessarily relied on one's own strength. Outside forces couldn't help him. Tang San also didn't plan to help him. Light flashed, and that drop of golden blue light on the tip of his finger was quietly imprinted on Oscar's forehead. With just a flicker, that golden blue light merged into Oscar. Just this one drop of blood actually seemed to exhaust Tang San. That was his god's blood. It might just be one drop, but that was still extremely precious to a god. That Chen Rinchu didn't bleed when her heart was pierced by Tang San's Guanyin tears was for this reason. A god's vitality would be injured with just the loss of one drop of blood. In order to help Oscar, Tang San didn't spare his own vitality. He couldn't just watch Oscar explode. He deeply wished this brother of his success. The sea god's light withdrew, and the color of Oscar's skin gradually faded while his expression calmed a lot. Even though he still trembled and spasmed, his crisis was already over. One spirit ring after another appeared around him. Oscar had experienced the black level 6 trials on Sea God Island, and unlike Ning Rongrong, he didn't gain any spirit ring cultivation, so consequently his first 8 spirit rings were still 2 yellow, 2 purple, and 4 black. The 9th spirit ring was now vaguely taking shape, and the color as darker red as blood indicated that Oscar had succeeded. Tang San showed a faint smile. With the help of his drop of God's blood, the power of gods was infused in Oscar's body, nourishing his veins and muscles. In terms of physical strength, he was no longer weaker than the others. It was also just because of this that this last 9th spirit ring was successfully absorbed. Finally, that illusory spirit ring slowly condensed, hanging highest above Oscar, intense spirit power fluctuations radiating from Oscar in waves. The presence of a 100,000-year spirit ring making the atmosphere tremble. The mist that Tang San pulled above his head fell perfectly straight down into Oscar, but different from how Tang San once used breathing techniques to absorb it. This mist was slowly assimilated into Oscar through his open pores. The spirit power after breaking through to the tidal Douluo level erupted uncontrollably from within him. The surging presence making illusory energy waves pulse all around him. In the history of the Spirit Master world, the very first food-type tidal Douluo had finally appeared. Oscar's trembling gradually stopped, the painful expression also gradually easing, his breathing calming. Every breath was drawn out, his body releasing faint pink light. 9 spirit rings glittered in turn, releasing dazzling light. Success! Tang San showed a smile, then floated back 10 meters. Oscar slowly opened his eyes. His pupils now had a gem-like luster they didn't have before, and the presence he emanated slowly dwindled. One spirit ring after another blended into his body, transforming into a calm and gentle presence. He was even more handsome than before. Having reached tidal Douluo, not only had his strength advanced another level, even his energies had transformed. Just as Tang San thought Oscar's 9th spirit ring formation was over, suddenly, a pink ray of light appeared out of nowhere in the sky, falling on Oscar. That light was extremely fast, and Tang San as sea god had no chance of stopping it without warning. The pink light directly drilled into Oscar's forehead, and his expression visibly froze. He seemed as motionless as a statue. Not good. Tang San was shocked. If there was a problem with his comrade's advancement under his protection, how could he explain it to the others? He arrived next to Oscar in a blur, and surging golden blue light instantly enveloped him, and Tang San also directly placed his hand on Oscar's forehead. But, against all expectance, as Tang San used his divine sense to examine Oscar, even after a while he didn't discover anything untoward. Frowning, Tang San couldn't help looking toward where that pink light appeared in the sky before. Oscar had now already returned to his senses, his dull eyes once again becoming expressive, but now he was completely locked down by Tang San's sea god power and unable to budge. Tang San withdrew a portion of his divine power, but still used his divine sense to check on Oscar, in order to avoid any accidents. But at the same time he also removed the feathers on Oscar. Little Ow, are you fine? Tang San asked concerned. Oscar stood sharply, suddenly laughing out loud. I'm fine, I couldn't be better. Little San, between us brothers, big brother won't say any thanks. Tang San relaxed. Oscar was alright. Just now a ray of pink light appeared from the sky after you absorbed your 9th spirit rings and entered your forehead. Did you sense anything? Oscar grinned, showing a mysterious expression. Brother, this is my just rewards. Huh? What's that mean? Tang San asked curiously. Ever since becoming sea god he felt like he controlled everything, but what happened just now was outside his control, so how could he not be curious? Oscar lowered his voice. Just as I absorbed the 9th spirit ring, that 100,000-year spirit ring made me feel my strength shooting up. That really was marvelous. It's the first time I felt such absolute power. My spirit power should have reached rank 92. Absorbing your sea god power really was effective. It might be more effective on the others. After all, they should absorb a bit more. Then I felt a warm stream into my forehead, and a very gentle voice echoed in my mind. He said that by becoming a food-type tidal Douluo, before age 40, I have the potential to inherit his divinity. I have to cultivate my spirit power to rank 99, to naturally start the next step of the inheritance. Tang San stared. Divinity? That pink light was a god sending you information. Tang San really couldn't comprehend it. Regardless of how he inherited the sea god, Chen Rinchu inherited the god of angels, or his great-grandfather worked for years to inherit the Asura god. All of it was based on divine sense left in the world, and they all triggered trials. But now that pink light dropped in on its own accord, that was a bit different from the circumstances he was familiar with. But from another point of view, that the pink light could hit Oscar while under his watch showed it was indeed god level. Seeing Tang San deep in contemplation, Oscar smiled. Little San, don't overthink it. Don't forget that Big Bro might be the first food-type tidal Douluo. Just this is unprecedented in history. Besides, this is the most crucial step of that god's tests. Just becoming a food-type tidal Douluo, and being young and handsome, made him choose me. Haha, it seems I'll have a chance at becoming god too. Even if it might take a while, at least I don't have to go look for divinity. Wahahaha. Oscar laughed proudly. His excitement came from the heart. He had always been the weakest of the Shrek 7 devils. Even if his sausage support was pretty good, it still wasn't the same as Ning Rongrong's 9 treasure glazed tile pagoda. In combat, even though he could rely on the mirror image sausage to use his comrade's abilities, in a real duel he couldn't defeat anyone. Now that he suddenly had the attention of a god, how could he not be excited? He also didn't need to worry about whether he matched Ning Rongrong anymore. Little Owl, what god was it that called you? Tang San asked. Oscar grinned. Very suitable. He said he's the food god. Haha, this big bro has a title now too. Just call me food god Douluo. Isn't that elegant? Isn't that handsome? Food god. Tang San suddenly understood. It seemed that Oscar's guess should be correct. Becoming the first food-type tidal Douluo very likely was the food god's first trial of inheritance, and also the most crucial one. If his comrades had hoped for inheriting divinity, how could Tang San not be excited? Recalling what the sea god said about being lonely, Tang San couldn't help smiling. It seemed even if he became a god, he still wouldn't be lonely. It would be nice if all of his comrades were as lucky as Oscar. Just as Oscar was being excited, another ball of mist slowly dwindled, revealing the person inside. This mist held the youngest of the Shrek 7 devils, Hellsivet Juzuking. A dazzling red spirit ring appeared over her. She had equally succeeded with her 9th spirit ring, and relying on a much stronger body than Oscar, and also stronger spirit power, the 100,000-year spirit ring became her best result as a spirit master. Seeing Juzuking successfully absorb the spirit ring, Tang San and Oscar didn't look at her further. The two by chance both turning to study the sky, hoping to greet another light. Only, facts proved that luck wasn't something that came when called. The sky remained quiet, without any signs of light showing up. Juzuking slowly opened her eyes, her black pupils as radiant as black pearls. The illusory feeling in her surroundings was much more distinct than Oscar's, and as she stood, every movement gave people an illusory feeling, as if she was composed of a series of after-images. Little Owl, third brother, what are you looking at? Juzuking looked somewhat curiously at Tang San and Oscar, who were watching the sky, and couldn't resist asking curiously. Hey, nothing. Zuking, you succeeded too. How is it? What spirit power rank? Oscar and Tang San returned to their senses. They knew that luck wouldn't come again, and Oscar posed the question. Juzuking smiled slightly. Even though she was the youngest, she had a steady character, and her ice-cold guard didn't exist towards her comrades. Thanks to third brother's sea god power and that deep-sea demon whale energy, I'm rank 93. It really is like reaching the sky in one bound. I never thought I could become tidal Douluo before 30. Tang San smiled. It's good that you absorbed the spirit ring safely. Anyway, we Shrek 7 devils have been treated as monsters for more than just a day or two. I still remember back when we just came to Shrek Academy. The teacher said that Shrek Academy only accepted monsters, not ordinary people. Only, even Dean Flender might not have thought that the monsters he raised would be quite this monstrous. Oscar and Zhuzuking couldn't help laughing. Tang San asked. Zuking, you've now become a title Douluo too. We don't need Spirit Hall to give us titles. What title are you going to go by? Zhuzuking thought, then said, titles don't matter. Just use my spirit's name. Hell Douluo is fine. Oscar curled his lip. So sinister. Zuking, you're a girl. Civet Douluo would be better. Zuking burst into giggles. Leave it, sausage Douluo. Of course I'll decide my own title. I'm all sticky. I'll go wash off first. Speaking, she turned and headed down the mountain. Zuking, wait for me. I want to wash too. What sausage Douluo? Big bro's title is food god. Call me food god Douluo. Oscar called resentfully as he followed Zuking. But with Zuking's agility attack title Douluo speed, how could he keep up? Zuking wasn't going to give him the chance to peep on her. Looking after the two, Tang San couldn't help smiling and shaking his head. He really was too greedy. What happened to Oscar might be unique in the entire Spirit Master world. How could he hope for the same for all his friends? If that happened, then the gods really were too cheap. Only, the little lad cultivate to rank 99 would still be quite a journey. After all, he couldn't absorb any more spirit rings to help increase his spirit power. He could only rely on his personal strength alone. In this respect, he couldn't help him even as the sea god. But fortunately he still wasn't yet 30. He still had time. With title Douluo level strength, living for a couple centuries was normal. He should be able to get to rank 99. Once this was all over, he would still stay with his comrades as much as possible. Then whether until Oscar really accepted the good god's inheritance or the others found divinity, he could still watch over Tam. Tang San wouldn't allow what happened to his great-grandfather Tang Chen to happen to his friends. While Tang San was pondering, his divine sense suddenly twitched, and his gaze immediately turned towards a ball of mist. The mist suddenly rose, unexpectedly changing shape. The originally round ball of mist now suddenly folded over itself, stretched higher, slowly taking another shape. That was the appearance of a pagoda, so vivid and lifelike that Tang San could tell whose mist it was without using divine sense. It seems Rongrong has absorbed her ninth spirit ring too. A strange scene took shape on top of the sea god mountain. The pagoda formed from mist gradually brightened, and as the mist quietly disappeared, what appeared there wasn't Ning Rongrong, but rather a nearly 7 meters tall giant pagoda. 9-colored light roamed across it, resplendent in the sunlight. Each level of the pagoda had fences carved from jade, sparkling and gem-like, creating a strange scene on the mountaintop. Even the 7 sacred sea god guardian Douluo stared dully. Tang San nodded to himself. Ning Rongrong's 9 treasure glazed tile pagoda had finally formed. Back when he gave her the immortal herbs, the 7 treasure glazed tile pagoda became the 9 treasure glazed tile pagoda, and now that she possessed this 9th spirit ring, her 9 treasure glazed tile pagoda was truly complete. Sure enough, 9 spirit rings appeared in succession, and the last one was also a red 100,000-year spirit ring. The giant 9 treasure glazed tile pagoda began to turn illusory, Ning Rongrong vaguely becoming visible sitting upright within. Only, compared to Oscar and Zhuzuking, she didn't seem to be in any difficulty. At least there were no signs of sweat or blood. Solemn and stately with a smile on her face, her originally already remarkable beauty now with a somewhat hallowed sense. The 9 treasure glazed tile pagoda's light gradually dwindled, the shape also gradually shrinking, returning to its original size, hovering in front of Ning Rongrong. Just as Tang San was going to step forward and congratulate Ning Rongrong on absorbing her 9th spirit ring, suddenly, a thunderclap reverberated in the sky. Tang San looked distracted. The sky was clear. Why was there thunder? Next, a ray of 9-colored light fell from the sky, hitting the 9 treasure glazed tile pagoda floating in the air. Immediately, the resplendent 9 treasure glazed tile pagoda flashed. A dazzling pillar of light shot straight up, transforming the sky. Vaguely, a giant image floated in midair, completely clear, showing a woman dressed in 9-colored clothing. Smiling, she gave a small salute in Tang San's direction. Then her lips moved in Ning Rongrong's direction, as if saying something. Tang San silently wiped non-existent sweat from his forehead, thinking to himself, "What's up with today? Don't tell me we Shrek 7 devils are reincarnations of monsters, with divinities dropping in of their own accord." Without question, the image in the sky came from a divinity's divine sense. Even though it didn't feel as powerful as the sea god, angel god or Asura god, it definitely was a divinity. 2 divinities coming calling in one day to hand over their inheritance. If others learned about it, it might cause an uproar in the spirit master world. He wondered how widely Oscar would be smiling while washing now. Even if he became a god, Rongrong could still be together with him. Thinking of this, Tang San couldn't resist glancing over at Xiao Wu, secretly resolving that no matter how he had to do it, he would find Xiao Wu divinity to inherit too. When he went to the divine world, he could bring her too. A winged blue, and the goddess in 9 colors faded. The 9 treasure glazed tile pagoda in front of Ning Rongrong also landed in her hand. A bit perplexed, she opened her eyes. Seeing Tang San sitting not far in front of her, she hurriedly leapt up. "Third brother, just now that one called 9-color goddess told me to inherit her divinity or whatever. I only have to wait until I reach rank 99 to advance the trials. Is this for real?" In the Shrek 7 devils, the one Ning Rongrong loved the most was Oscar, but the one she trusted most was her third brother. If she had a question, she would of course find him first. Tang San grinned. "Congratulations, Rongrong, it should be real. You'll have to work hard. At rank 99, with third brother watching out for you, you can definitely pass the 9-color goddess trials." Ning Rongrong blinked, then unexpectedly shook her head, speaking in a low voice. "No need, I don't want to inherit any divinity." Tang San stared blankly. "Rongrong, why? Do you know how many title Douluo spend their lives searching for divinity without gaining anything? Even my great-grandfather was the same, even as a peak power. Now that divinity comes calling, why?" Ning Rongrong suddenly grew alert, looking all around. She discovered that the place where Oscar sat was already empty. Looking all around again, she didn't find a trace of Oscar, and hurriedly asked, "Third brother? Third brother, Oscar?" Tang San smiled. "Little Al already absorbed the spirit ring and went to wash up. He'll be back in a while. Why? Are you this worried when he's out of your sight?" Ning Rongrong seemed to heave a sigh of relief, walking over to Tang San and whispering in his ear, "Third brother, can you promise me something?" Tang San was a bit astounded. "What, Rongrong? Why so strange?" Ning Rongrong whispered, "Third brother, don't tell Oscar about the divinity coming just now. Even though he appears dissolute, he's actually very proud. It was the same back when he courted me, and now that we're finally together, if he finds out I was chosen by a divinity, he might start feeling inferior again. I don't want those 5 years to happen again. So, you absolutely can't tell him." Tang San now understood what Ning Rongrong meant, and looked at her with not quite a smile. "In other words, you giving up on inheriting this divinity is for little Al's sake?" Ning Rongrong's face was scorching hot under Tang San's gaze, and softly nodded. Tang San rubbed Ning Rongrong's head, sighing softly. "Rongrong, you really have grown up. Now thinking back of that great little lady's arrogance back when we first met, I still feel it's inconceivable. No wonder even the 9-color goddess came for you. However, you're sure you won't accept her inheritance in the future?" Ning Rongrong stubbornly nodded. "If I can't be with my beloved, then what's the point of becoming a god? Third brother, you have to promise me to keep this secret." Tang San laughed out loud. "You said it yourself. You can't regret it. Little Al, you heard Rongrong. Do as you see fit." "Ah." Ning Rongrong was shocked, turning around, just seeing Oscar sneakily step crawl out from below the mountain. Only, the expression in his eyes was extremely strange, dully looking at her, slowly walking over step by step, his eyes glistening with a moist light. Ning Rongrong turned her head to look at Tang San again, her eyes reddening. "Third brother, how could you do this? You knew full well he was coming. Why didn't you stop me from speaking? You." At the same time, she fiercely ran towards Oscar, reaching him in a few steps, taking the initiative to fall into his arms, hugging him tightly, speaking softly. "Little Al, don't misunderstand. I didn't mean to hide it from you. Don't worry, I definitely won't go inherit that divinity. In the future, I will always be together with you. Once the war with the Spirit Empire is over, I'll marry you, okay?" Oscar looked down, dully watching Ning Rongrong in his arms, his throat seeming to choke on something, unable to produce a word. "Little Al, don't scare me. Strength isn't everything in life. Besides, we're both title Douluo now. Answer me. Once the war is over, marry me, okay?" Ning Rongrong was already crying, tears flowing down her charming face. "Rongrong. Rongrong. Oscar suddenly fiercely pulled Ning Rongrong close. I will, of course I will. You're mine forever. Rongrong, you really are good to me. At a time like this, the always clever Oscar could only manage blunt words like this. Looking at them, Tang San was full of smiles, his gentle gaze turning to his lover, thinking, Xiao Wu, when that time comes, we'll also marry like them, okay? Ning Rongrong got Oscar's answer, then relaxed a lot, taking the initiative to kiss him. Oscar of course wouldn't let such a good chance pass, and the two started kissing as if nobody else was present. Ning Rongrong was always shy, and was very rarely intimate with Oscar in front of others, let alone such a completely unrestrained kiss. Cough cough. Are you planning on making a public show? Zhu's looking's clear and cool somewhat bantering voice came from the side. She had also washed off and changed clothes before returning. Lips parting, Ning Rongrong shyly buried her head against Oscar's chest. It's all your fault. All your fault. Now they're laughing at us. Oscar laughed out loud. Yes, blame me. It's my fault. But, Rongrong, in the future you definitely have to take that 9-color goddess inheritance. What? Ning Rongrong looked up at Oscar, her just relieved expression suddenly concerned again. Little owl, don't be like that. I said I'll never leave you. Oscar grinned. And because you won't leave me, you have to inherit the 9-color goddess divinity. Hey, Little San didn't have time to tell you. Just now, one step ahead of you. I also had a god come calling. He's called the food god. Ning Rongrong stared dully at Oscar, blinking. Then she turned to look at Tang San, who looked innocently back at her. It's not that I didn't say it, but that you're too anxious. You didn't give me a chance to speak. Little Owl is the first title Douluo food type spirit master, so he's favored by the food god in the divine world. Didn't I just ask you if you really were sure you wouldn't accept the 9-color goddess inheritance? You, both of you, just die. Ning Rongrong now woke up to the realization. No wonder Tang San would let Oscar hear what she said, and even called Oscar out. She really was in a mess. Pink fists rained down on Oscar, but he just let her hit, always smiling. Originally he shouldn't have heard what Ning Rongrong told Tang San before. At that time he was still heading back up the mountain, but Tang San passed Ning Rongrong's words to him through his divine sense. For his sake, Ning Rongrong was willing to give up on becoming a god. How could Oscar not be touched? In his heart, the traces of their past misunderstandings were now completely obliterated. He only held boundless love for Rongrong. Rongrong, I love you. Oscar gazed emotionally at his incensed lover. Ning Rongrong paused, no longer punching, then fiercely threw herself against Oscar's chest, crying loudly. Zhu Zuking walked over to Tang San whispering, third brother, you really are rotten. Scheming against a Rongrong like that. Tang San laughed out loud. This isn't related to me. It's all on Little Owl. If he told Rongrong he was also watched by the food god as soon as he appeared, she naturally wouldn't misunderstand. Let them deal with their own business. Zhu Zuking smiled. We really have to congratulate them, getting the attention of gods at the same time. This is even luckier than you getting the sea god trials. Tang San said. This is also the result of their own effort. Whether Ning Rongrong's 9 treasure blazed tile pagoda or Little Owl's food type spirit, you know how difficult it is to cultivate the title Douluo. On the entire continent, a lot of gods should have left behind their marks. Now everyone has title Douluo level strength, and we're all still so young. Once the war is over and we've crushed the spirit empire, later on we can go touring to cultivate, while looking for other divinity traces. I believe the day will come when all the Shrek 7 devils can meet in the divine world. Just as Tang San spoke, suddenly, a resonant phoenix cry reverberated, the entire mountaintop turning scorching hot. The mist around Mahongton instantly turned scarlet, and then an enormous fire phoenix soared up, turning into pure golden ray of light in the sky. At the head of the light was a 10-meter-long phoenix with wings unfolded, altogether 7 heads looking around. The flame energy he radiated tinted the entire sky faintly red. Fatty succeeded too. Tang Sna raised his head to look at the phoenix with 9 elated heads in the sky, unconsciously feeling even a bit happier. Mahongton's last spirit ring was also red, not quite distinct against his phoenix flames, but from the explosive energy he emanated, Tang San could tell that Mahongton's strength was now extremely high, especially the burst power of the phoenix flames might even equal rank 95 spirit masters. But facts also proved that luck wouldn't always favor the Shrek 7 devils. Mahongton also didn't gain the appreciation of any god on becoming title Douluo. He spread his wings, flying 3 full circles in the sky before landing. His flames dwindled in midair, and he turned back into human form. The stains on him were already completely burned off by that scorching hot phoenix flame. Before landing, Mahongton took out a long robe to cover himself, still in high spirits, hardly hiding the pride he felt. Wahaha, rank 93, Rongrong, Zuking, Big Bro is rank 93, amazing. Phoenix Douluo descends. Ha ha ha. Ning Ringrong had already calmed down a lot, and she unhappily shot Mahongton a glare. What's rank 93? Luckily you're still a power attack type spirit master, and have a first-rate phoenix spirit to boot. Aren't you embarrassed your spirit power isn't even as high as mine? I'm rank 94. Hey. Fatty said resentfully, don't attack me, okay? You have the world's #1 support type spirit, and your foundation is better than mine too. Your spirit power has always been higher than mine. It seems you all succeeded. From here on call me Phoenix Douluo. Thank you. Thanks so much for watching this video. Don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe. Also leave a comment down below with suggestions on what novels to read.